You felt this before. That feeling when you're doing everything right, but somehow nothing is working. You're trying hard, you're showing up, you're doing your best, and still it feels like you're stuck in the same place, watching other people move forward while you're spinning your wheels. Here's what I want you to know. You're not doing anything wrong, and you're not imagining it. Life does work a certain way, and when you don't know how it works, you end up exhausted, confused, and frustrated. Not because you're not good enough, but because no one ever sat you down and explained the real rules. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're playing a card game, but no one told you the rules. You're just guessing. You see other people winning, so you copy what they do. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And after a while, you start to think maybe you're just not good at this game. But the truth is, you were never bad at the game, you just didn't know how it actually worked. That's what happens in life. We spend years trying to figure it out on our own. We watch what other people do, we try different things, and when it doesn't work, we blame ourselves. We think we're missing something, we think everyone else has it figured out, and we're the only ones who don't. But most people don't have it figured out either, they're just guessing too. So today, I want to walk you through how life actually works, not in a complicated way, not with fancy words or big theories, just the simple truth. The kind of truth that makes sense the moment you hear it. Because once you see it, everything becomes clearer. You stop wasting energy on things that don't matter. You stop blaming yourself for things that were never your fault. And you start playing the game the way it was meant to be played. If you're enjoying this message, subscribe, leave a like, and share this with someone who needs it. Now, let's continue. And the real reason this happens is not what most people think. The first thing you need to understand is this: life doesn't reward effort, it rewards the right effort. I know that sounds harsh, but stay with me. You've probably been told your whole life that if you work hard, good things will happen. And to some degree, that's true. Hard work matters. But hard work in the wrong direction doesn't get you anywhere. Let me explain. Imagine you're pushing a car. You're pushing as hard as you can. You're sweating, you're tired, you're giving it everything you've got. But the car isn't moving, not because you're not strong enough, but because the parking brake is still on. That's what happens when you don't understand how life works. You put in all this effort, but you're fighting against something you didn't even know was there. So what's the parking brake in real life? It's the things you believe that aren't true. It's the ideas you've been carrying around for years that are actually holding you back. Things like, if I'm nice to people, they'll be nice to me. Or, if I do my best, people will notice. Or, if I'm patient, everything will work out. These sound good, they sound right, and sometimes they are. But life doesn't work that way all the time. Sometimes being nice to people just means they take advantage of you. Sometimes doing your best goes completely unnoticed. And sometimes being patient just means you end up waiting forever while nothing changes. Does this sound familiar? It's not that kindness or effort or patience are bad, they're not. But if you think they're enough on their own, you're going to end up disappointed. Because life has other rules, rules that no one talks about, rules that matter just as much, if not more. And once you learn these rules, everything starts to make sense. You stop feeling confused. You stop wondering why things aren't working. And you start seeing exactly what you need to do differently. But there's something deeper. Here's the second rule. Life rewards clarity, not confusion. Most people go through life without really knowing what they want. They have a vague idea. They think, I want to be happy, or I want things to be better, or I just want to feel okay. And that's not enough. Because if you don't know exactly what you want, you can't move toward it. You're just drifting. You're reacting to whatever happens. And when you're just reacting, life pushes you around. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine you're in a store. Someone asks you, "What are you looking for?" And you say, "I don't know, just something." How are you supposed to find it? You can't. You'll walk around for hours looking at everything, feeling overwhelmed, and you'll either leave with nothing or buy something you don't actually need. But if you walk in and say, "I need a black sweater, medium size," you'll find it in 5 minutes. That's the difference between clarity and confusion. When you're clear, life becomes simple. You know what to say yes to, you know what to say no to. You don't waste time on things that don't matter. You don't get distracted by every option that shows up. But when you're confused, everything feels hard. Every decision feels heavy. You second-guess yourself. You wonder if you're doing the right thing. And you end up stuck. Not because you can't move, but because you don't know which direction to go. Have you felt this? That feeling of standing at a crossroads, not sure which way to turn, so you just stand there, hoping something will make it clear. Here's the truth. Nothing will make it clear except you. Life doesn't hand you clarity. You have to create it. You have to sit down and ask yourself, what do I actually want? Not what I think I should want, not what other people expect. What do I want? And once you answer that question honestly, the path forward becomes obvious. And this is where most people get hurt. The third rule is this: life doesn't care about fairness, it cares about decisions. I know that's hard to hear, especially if you've spent your whole life trying to be fair, trying to do the right thing, trying to treat people well. But here's what I've learned. Fairness is something we hope for. Decisions are what actually shape our lives. Let me explain. You've probably been in situations where you did everything right and it still didn't work out. You were kind, you were patient, you were understanding, and the other person still hurt you, still left, still took you for granted. And you thought, that's not fair. You're right, it's not. But life doesn't stop and fix things just because they're unfair. Life keeps moving, and the only thing that changes your situation is the decision you make next. Do you stay? Do you leave? Do you speak up? Do you let it go? That decision is what matters. Not whether it's fair, not whether you deserve better, not whether the other person should change. Your decision is the only thing you actually control. And this is where a lot of people get stuck. They wait for fairness. They wait for the other person to realize what they did wrong. They wait for things to balance out on their own. And while they're waiting, years go by. I've seen it happen so many times. People stay in jobs that drain them because it's not fair to leave after everything the company did for me. People stay in relationships that hurt them because it's not fair to give up after all this time. But fairness has nothing to do with it. What matters is, are you okay with how things are? And if you're not, are you willing to make a different choice? Because life will let you suffer as long as you let yourself suffer. It won't step in and save you. It won't fix things for you. It will just keep going exactly as it is until you decide to change it. But it doesn't stop there. The fourth rule is simple but powerful. Life rewards action, not intention. You can want something your whole life and never get it, not because you didn't want it badly enough, but because you never actually did anything about it. Let me give you an example. How many times have you said, "I'm going to start taking care of myself," or "I'm going to set boundaries," or "I'm going to stop letting people treat me this way"? And how many times have you actually done it? If you're like most people, the answer is not as many times as you've said it. And that's okay. I'm not judging you. I'm just pointing out what's true. Intentions feel good. They make us feel like we're moving forward, but they don't change anything on their own. Action does. And here's the thing, the action doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be real. Let me explain. If you want to get healthier, you don't have to join a gym and go every day. You just have to take one walk. One. If you want to set a boundary, you don't have to have a big confrontation. You just have to say no once, one time. If you want to change your life, you don't have to do everything at once. You just have to do one small thing differently today. Because that one small thing starts to shift how you see yourself. It starts to build momentum, and before you know it, that one small action becomes 2, then 5, then 10. But if you just keep thinking about it, nothing changes. You stay exactly where you are, wishing things were different, but never actually making them different. Does this sound familiar? It's not that you're lazy, it's not that you don't care. It's that no one ever told you the smallest action beats the biggest intention every single time. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting until you feel ready. Just do one thing, today, right now. And it gets clearer once you see the next part. The 5th rule is this: life rewards people who can let go, not people who hold on. This one is hard, I know, because we've been taught that loyalty matters, that commitment matters, that if you love something, you hold on to it, you fight for it, you don't give up. And that's true in some cases, but not all of them. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is let go. Let me explain. There are things in your life right now that aren't working. Maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's a job, maybe it's a habit, maybe it's a belief about yourself. And you know it's not working. You've known for a while, but you're still holding on. Why? Because letting go feels like failure. It feels like giving up. It feels like admitting you were wrong, or that you wasted time, or that you're not strong enough to make it work. But here's the truth. Holding on to something that's hurting you isn't strength, it's fear. You're afraid of what happens next. You're afraid of the empty space that comes after you let go. You're afraid you won't find anything better. So you stay, and you suffer, and you tell yourself it's noble. But it's not. Letting go isn't quitting. It's making space for something better. Think about it like this. If your hands are full of something heavy, something that's weighing you down, you can't pick up anything new. You can't reach for anything better. Your hands are full. But the moment you let go, your hands are free. And now you can grab onto something that actually helps you, something that actually lifts you up. Have you felt this? That moment when you finally let go of something you were holding on to for years, and suddenly everything felt lighter. That's what I'm talking about. Life doesn't reward the people who hold on the longest. It rewards the people who know when to let go. So if there's something in your life that's been draining you, hurting you, holding you back, ask yourself, what would happen if I just let it go? But here's the part most people overlook. The 6th rule is this: life rewards people who know the difference between reacting and responding. Most of the time, we're just reacting. Something happens and we react. Someone says something and we react. We feel something and we react. And reactions are fast. They're automatic. They come from emotion, not from thought. But reactions usually make things worse. Let me give you an example. Someone says something that bothers you. Your first reaction is to snap back, to defend yourself, to prove them wrong. And maybe you do. Maybe you say something sharp. Maybe you make your point. But what happens after? Usually, the situation gets worse. The other person gets defensive. Things escalate. And what started as a small comment turns into a big fight. That's what happens when you react. But responding is different. When you respond, you take a moment, you breathe, you think, and then you choose what to say or do. You're not ignoring your feelings. You're not pretending nothing happened. You're just not letting your feelings control you. And that makes all the difference. Because when you respond instead of react, you stay in control. You don't say things you'll regret later. You don't make decisions based on anger or hurt or fear. You make decisions based on what's actually best for you. Does this sound hard? It is at first, because we're so used to reacting. We've been doing it our whole lives. But here's the good news. Responding is a skill, and like any skill, you can learn it. It starts with one simple thing: pause. When something bothers you, don't say anything right away. Don't do anything right away. Just pause. Count to 5. Take a breath. And in that pause, ask yourself, what do I actually want to happen here? Do I want to make this worse, or do I want to make it better? That question changes everything. Because once you know what you actually want, you can choose how to respond in a way that gets you there. Life rewards people who can do this. People who don't let every little thing throw them off balance. People who can stay calm, stay clear, and stay in control. And this is where most people get hurt. The 7th rule is this: life rewards people who can be honest, especially with themselves. This is one of the hardest things to do, because being honest means facing things you've been avoiding. It means admitting you were wrong. It means admitting you're unhappy. It means admitting you've been lying to yourself about something important, and that's uncomfortable. But here's the truth: you can't fix what you won't face. Let me explain. Maybe you've been telling yourself that your relationship is fine, when deep down you know it's not. Maybe you've been telling yourself that your job is okay, when deep down you know it's draining you. Maybe you've been telling yourself that you're happy, when deep down you're not. And you keep telling yourself these things because facing the truth feels too hard. It feels too big. It feels like if you admit it, you'll have to do something about it. And maybe you're not ready for that. But here's what happens when you keep lying to yourself: nothing changes. You stay stuck. You keep feeling the same way. And the longer you avoid the truth, the worse it gets. I've seen people spend years, sometimes decades, lying to themselves about something they knew wasn't right. And by the time they finally faced it, so much time had passed, so much life had gone by. And they always said the same thing: I wish I had been honest with myself sooner. So let me ask you, is there something you've been avoiding? Something you know is true, but you don't want to admit? You don't have to do anything about it right now. You don't have to fix it today. But just be honest with yourself. Just admit it. Say it out loud, even if it's just to yourself. Because the moment you're honest, something shifts. You stop pretending. You stop carrying the weight of the lie. And even though the truth might be hard, it's also freeing. Life doesn't punish honesty. It punishes dishonesty. Because dishonesty keeps you stuck. And honesty, even when it's painful, moves you forward. But there's something deeper. The 8th rule is this: life rewards people who can accept reality, not fight it. This doesn't mean you have to like reality. It doesn't mean you can't want things to be different. It just means you stop pretending things are something they're not. Let me explain. How much energy have you spent wishing someone would change, wishing a situation would be different, wishing the past had gone another way? Probably a lot. And I get it, we all do this. We all wish things were different. But here's the problem: wishing doesn't change anything. It just keeps you stuck in a fantasy. And while you're stuck in that fantasy, real life is passing you by. I'll give you an example. Maybe you've been waiting for someone to apologize, and you've been waiting for years. And in your mind, you keep imagining what it would be like if they finally said sorry, how good it would feel, how everything would be okay. But they haven't apologized. And the longer you wait, the more bitter you become, the more resentful, the more stuck. And the truth is, they might never apologize. So what do? You accept it. You accept that they're not going to give you what you want, and you stop waiting for it. That doesn't mean you excuse what they did. It doesn't mean you pretend it didn't hurt. It just means you stop letting it control your life. Because accepting reality is what sets you free. It's what lets you move on. It's what lets you stop carrying around all that pain and disappointment. Have you felt this? That moment when you finally stopped fighting reality and just accepted it, and suddenly everything felt lighter? That's what I'm talking about. Life doesn't reward the people who spend their whole lives wishing things were different. It rewards the people who accept what is and then decide what to do about it. So stop fighting, stop wishing, stop waiting. Just accept it. And then ask yourself, now that I know this is how things are, what do I want to do next? But it doesn't stop there. So here's what it all comes down to. Life works like a game, but not the kind of game where someone wins and someone loses. It's the kind of game where the rules are simple, but no one teaches them to you. You have to figure them out on your own, and the sooner you figure them out, the easier everything becomes. So let me say them one more time, as clearly as I can. Life rewards the right effort, not just effort. It rewards clarity, not confusion. It rewards decisions, not fairness. It rewards action, not intention. It rewards people who can let go, not people who hold on. It rewards people who respond, not people who react. It rewards honesty, especially with yourself. And it rewards people who accept reality, not fight it. These aren't complicated rules. You don't need a degree to understand them. You don't need to be special or smart or lucky. You just need to be willing to see things as they really are, and then make choices based on that truth. Because here's what I've learned after all these years. The people who do well in life aren't the ones who had it easy. They're not the ones who never made mistakes. They're the ones who learned the rules, who stopped fighting against how life works and started working with it. And you can do the same thing. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how long you've been doing things the wrong way. It doesn't matter how stuck you feel right now. You can start today. You can make one small change, one honest admission, one clear decision. And that one thing will lead to another and another. And before you know it, your whole life will start to shift. Not because you became a different person, but because you finally understood how the game works. So stop blaming yourself. Stop thinking you're not good enough. Stop waiting for life to be fair. Just learn the rules and start playing. If this message helped you, subscribe so you don't miss the next reflection, leave a like, and share this with someone who needs to hear this today.